G'day ladies and gents, and welcome back to War Thunder. Today we're going to be, finally, going back to the ground and having a look at a tank. And this particular tank is kind of contentious, actually. A lot of people have quite vocal opinions about the RU-251 and sort of the way it plays out in War Thunder, particularly in realistic battles. Now, as you can see here by my spawn points and by the mouse to the right of you, I'm in a full up tier. And I'm going to do just fine. I'm going to do amazingly, actually. But basically I was using the RU-251 as well as a host of other lineups to try and finish the tank tasks on the Operation Heat. And in this video, you'll see that I actually do. But what I really like about the RU-251 is I've almost always had a good time in it. It's extremely versatile. It's a very good tank. And honestly, some people say it's pay to win. Some people say it's useless. I really don't know what to call it. I do think it's extremely versatile because it does have heat of S. And it does have ridiculously high speed where you can pull off ridiculous maneuvers like a quick flank through smoke. You can crest ridges, you have plenty of gun depression, you have a decent reload. This tank almost functions like a little Leopard 1, and a lot of people have been have used it to sort of get used to the playstyle of the Leopard 1. It does play out that way, but I don't think that it should be at 6.7, despite it being a baby Leopard. I think this thing could be 7.3, and hear me out. The RU-251 is extremely fast. It's also a light tank. Now, a light tank is able to get into positions where it can assault heavy tanks like this at the same battle rating and still be ridiculously competitive. I don't have to really aim for a weak spot as such in armor. Obviously, we're getting to the stage at 6.7, 7.3, 7.7 where the philosophy when it comes to armor is that it is more just to sort of hold the tank there rather than to carry a gun and an engine. And that's exactly the way the Germans seem to go about their tank design. And this is exactly what the RU-251 and the Leopard 1 are. They're attempts to basically say, you know what, heat of S is getting strong. Rolled homogeneous armor just doesn't cut it anymore. So what we're going to do is we're going to stick a really, really fast tank. We're going to stick a really, really good gun on a really fast tank. And this is what you get. And sort of, it fits. It actually really fits the 7.7 meta. In an all 7.7 to 8.3 battle, it actually goes really well. And if you take out the T55 AM1 out of the picture, you could make this thing effective all the way up to 7.7 as a light tank. It's currently playing the role of almost a medium tank in this role, almost like a fast tank destroyer, somewhere between an M18 and an M46. I think the RU-251 is extremely strong. You can see me here coming up to the side over these ridges on Centurions that just don't see any. They don't see me coming at all, and I can just have my way with them. I can do whatever I want. I've got them one-on-one. And realistically, there's no two ways about it. These guys are pretty much better off dead. I mean, they are dead. But what I'm able to do with the RU-251 is I'm not going through the town. As you can see, we're on Ardennes, and the team is slowly filtering through the town, and they're hitting a little roadblock at the C cap. So what I need to do is I need to sort of go back and flush the town out. So I'm starting basically from the edge of the town. I don't want to go and spawn camp, although there goes that T92 that's come out unawares. I have basically got to filter back through the entire town and kill everyone in the town. And then we go to the C cap that, and then we continue on. And that's exactly what happens, funnily enough, because the RU-251 is really well equipped to do that. It has pretty good top speed. You can see there's a Panther 2 there with roughly the same idea. And you can see I just pop some smoke, so my rear is kind of covered. I go straight to the C cap, and it seems to work out pretty well. There's a Centurion with its back turned towards me, so I decide to wait till I can get the turret ring shot. I shoot the turret ring to disable the turret ring and the breach, and then I decide to try and go for the driver. At this range, you'd think maybe he could fire a missile, but he doesn't, and a charioteer passes right in front of me and doesn't notice me. I decide to finish off the Centurion because I didn't realize that the gun breach was out. I thought it was just the turret ring, and now I decide to go around and try and finish off the charioteer. He's a quick boy, but as you can see, a tracer shell runs out and explodes that lovely little charioteer, and now I have the C-cap all to myself. Well, not quite, I have my team with me, but the point is, the RU-251 works really well in both a fragging and a support role, both with the scout feature, the smokes, the high speed, the good gun, heat FS, Hesh even, if you really want to go there. I don't think you need to, I just take it anyway. Sometimes it can be useful, especially if I'm shooting at the rooftops of tanks. It's more just as a precautionary thing and as a comfort pick, just to know that I have it there if I need it. Any other shells like APCR and high explosive, I wouldn't bother. They're not worth it. They're completely useless. You might as well take the heat FS. It does the job of both, but better. So you have plenty of options to go with in your RU-251, and honestly, it is extremely strong, even at this battle rating at 7.7. It could even go up to 7.7, but I think 7.3 would be a good spot for it, so it doesn't have to face the T55AM1, so it doesn't have to face things that will easily outpace it, or almost outpace it, and have a stabilizer, have better armor overall, slightly better things. I think it is a really, really good tank. It almost sets the meta. Like, this thing is kind of pay to win because it does that, but I would say at the same time, it's not a very easy tank to use. It has a very high skill ceiling, but it also has a very high skill floor, meaning that the lowest level of skill is extremely hard to get used to. It's a difficult tank to learn. But once you do learn the RU-251, you can pretty much take it anywhere. And that's what I love about German tanks in general, is they seem to follow this pattern. They are difficult to get used to, but when you learn how to use them, they are ridiculously strong. They are insanely good. The Panther II is a classic example. The Panzer IV F2, another example. These tanks, maybe they don't have the best armor, but they certainly have a really, really whopping gun that they can absolutely smack people with. And in the Panther II and the RU-251's case, they have mobility. So you have extra things to throw at your enemy. The RU-251, whilst being extremely lightweight, is probably my favorite light tank. Simply because it just has the capability to do everything, and it's got a good lineup to back it up. You can see here, you'll have no problem against T29s and such. Although I will say from the side, it is probably easier to one-shot them with a long 88 than it is the 90mm. But at the same time, you have plenty of opportunities to, take advantage of. The T29, if you just breach it, you can go from there. You got to make sure that you keep your armor angled because you will get smacked pretty hard by 50 cals and SPAA, which you do have to watch out for. The RU-251, is it really pay to win? I honestly don't think so. I think it's close. It's extremely good. In the right hands, perhaps you could call it pay to win, but the fact is with War Thunder, the skill ceiling is extremely high. So you need to be good for it to be pay to win. If you're a new player, I do not recommend this tank at all. If you're, inexperienced, if you've never played RB, I would not recommend this tank. If you are well experienced and you would like something to maybe ease you into a Leopard 1 or something cool and fun, then the RU-251 is a great pick. It's pretty fun, and you combine that with the Dornier 335B2, and you have a really, really decent lineup, because what you can do is you can run around in your light tank, farm some SP, jump into your ground attacker, and you have a really, really good time. I always have fun in my Dornier 335. I have fun even playing the tech tree equivalents, the Dornier 3, the A0, the A1, the 410. I love doing that, and the RU-251 helps me facilitate it. You can see when I eventually die that I'll have heaps of spawn points that I can just throw at the wall. It's great. It's really nice to have, because I just get, do some scouting, do some work, and then I get myself a neat little spawn point bonus, and 6 kills, a cap, and 2 assists is pretty nice. And this is in a full up tier. And most of the time when I'm in a full up tier at 6.7, I can do this pretty regularly. Pretty regularly. It's kind of easy, to be honest, because I know what I'm doing for the most part. I roughly know my maps. I roughly know where the enemy is going to come from. And having a tank that I can, help me, or having a tank that can help me take my knowledge of the game to its highest possible extent, I guess, is fantastic. It's great fun. But you do need to be experienced. You do need to have map knowledge, and you do need to have an understanding of how HeatFS works in general. If you're brand new to the game or brand new to tanks, I would definitely never pick this up until you have way more experience. But if you've gone through tier 5 in another nation and you're looking for something to maybe grease you into the German tech tree, then this certainly isn't a bad pick at all. Anyway, ladies and gents, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching. I'm going to try and get some good stuff coming in the future in terms of videos and in terms of merch. I have Oddballs as misses on some on some. I'm going to commission it basically, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully, we'll get something soon. Take care.